everyone, welcome back to Joanne Tech Lover. I'm Joanne, and today I'll be doing an unboxing of this Phanteks TC14S CPU cooler. This is an air cooler, and I remember from a long time ago I did some unboxings of Phanteks coolers, and they were really impressive in just the sheer size of the heatsink, but this is a little different. Let's take a look at some of the box specs first, and this cooler is compatible with Intel LGA 2011, and that's 2011 V3 inclusive, as well as 115X, which stands for 1155, 1156, and 1150, as well as 1366 and 775 sockets. And it's also compatible with AMD FM1, FM2, AM3+, AM3, AM2+, and AM2 sockets. And you get a PHF140 HP PWM fan, which produces high static air pressure for direct and focused airflow, which is good for pushing air through tightly packed radiator fins. And this is a UFB bearing fan, which stands for updraft floating balance, for reducing noise from airflow and vibration. And you get a fan speed of 500 to 1600 RPM, a max airflow of 68.1 CFM, and a max air pressure of 1.62 millimeter of water. And this unit does come with a 5-year warranty. That's insane in the membrane. Anyway, anything over 3 years, and I'm like, that's impressive. Alrighty, now let's flip over to this side. And last thing I'm going to talk about is PATS, and that stands for Physical Antioxidant Thermal Shield. It's a coating technology that blocks out incoming heat from your other components, like graphics cards or memory, to your CPU cooler. Here's everything that comes in the box, including the heatsink itself, which I'll go over in more detail in just a bit, but first, let's take a look at the accessories. Of course, you get a install guide, very easy to follow, simple instructions, and in several different languages. I believe there's Chinese or Korean, as well as Russian, maybe? Anyway, moving right along, you get an AMD set as well as an Intel set, and I love how they labeled it for you so you don't get confused as to what goes where. Of course, there's, a back plate for this, as well as mounting plates, studs, and other screws and whatnot. Now then, what's cool is that they've included for you some thermal paste, like, this kind of applicator, not in like little plastic baggie. But if you don't want to use theirs, you can of course go online and buy your own. And over here we have some wire fan clips. I'm not a huge fan of these because they're not the easiest to install, but it's not impossible. As well as inserts, plastic inserts that go into the fan so that you can include the wires. And this is, well, you get 2 of these rubber bars. They've already included 2 bars inside of the heatsink, but this is of course to help dampen noise from the vibrations and whatnot. And here is a closer look at the fan. And this is a, of course, 140 millimeter fan, like I mentioned earlier, the PHF140 HP PWM fan, and here is its 4-pin connector. And as you can tell on this side, they've already included 2 of the wire clips for you, which is great because if you're new to this and you have no idea what direction they go, you can at least follow this or take a picture of it and then install it on another fan, for example. Here's a closer look at the fan. You get 7 blades with Maelstrom Vortex Booster, which produces a downdraft vortex for better performance as well as low noise level. I'm going to go ahead and demo the fan installed to the cooler, attach the plastic inserts here, as well as the wire clips, and show you how it's done. So let's turn this baby around on this side. You'll notice these holes here is like black, I believe, rubberized rings. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, and go ahead and push the inserts through the bottom, and there will be a hole for the wire clips to slip through, and you can go ahead and twist these. That's what I do in order to make the hole match up with the wire ends. So let's go ahead and attach it. And remember, if it's awkward, if it looks and feels awkward, you're doing it right. Anyway, this will require a little bit of bendy action to get this going, so here we go. Alright, looks like it's attached, and then of course you just go ahead and just push this onto the other end like so, and then go ahead and attach it to the cooler. But we're going to actually remove this and just use the pre-installed clips for that. And removal can be a little bit of a pain, so oh man, here we go. Alright, now that the other wire clip and inserts have been removed, let's go ahead and install the pre-installed ones onto the cooler. So just match it up and then go ahead and push the wire bits into the fin gaps on the cooler, and that's exactly how easy it is. And you know, sometimes maybe it won't want to go in exactly, but once you attach it, should be pretty solid, because I remember trying to remove it, not the easiest thing. But let me just quickly try it here. Oh, okay. That's not so bad. Anyway, but you'll probably, if you only have the one fan, of course, you want to install it in the center. As you can see, they've included the 2 rubber bars on here already. But of course, if you do the 3 fan setup, I'm sure if you buy the Phanteks fans, they'll include rubber bars. And you can go ahead and just stick the rubber bars on the fin strips right here. Here's a closer look at the cooler. This heatsink is designed to be slim. This is to avoid conflict with motherboard components like taller memory heatsinks. I know some of you have those. And it measures 105.1 millimeters or 4.1 inches on this edge, as well as 74 millimeters or 2.9 inches thick. And it is from the caps to the bottom, 155.5 millimeters or 6.1 inches tall. And this is, of course, without the fans. And the weight without the fans is 560 grams or 1.2 pounds. And let's turn this to this side again. As you can tell, this is a U-shaped heatsink with twin towers, and the design allows for mounting up to, once again, 3 PHF 140 HP fans or 3 120 millimeter fans for lots and lots of cooling. And I would have liked, you know, of course, a snap-on fan attachment, but since you're only doing this like once or twice, it's no big deal with the wires. The heat is dispersed through the aluminum fins for effective cooling, and I love how it's painted black. That's new to me, so as to blend in better with your other components. Now for a closer look at the copper base, it's nickel plated just like the copper heat pipes. I'm going to go ahead and peel back this film layer so you can take a look at that shiny base, because it's all about the base, Ha, just kidding. No, but anyway, try not to touch it. And I've noticed a little bit of smudging on there, so I'm going to go ahead and use some isopropyl alcohol to clean that up when I use this to install. I might use this for a build. I think this would be kind of awesome to show off an air-cooled build. Now then, let's take a closer look at the heat pipes. So you get 6 millimeter copper heat pipes, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the top, and you'll see where they thread through. And I really like how they're uniformly capped in black. I believe this is plastic. It just looks better. Otherwise, you see these kind of misshapen, jagged edges at the top, and you're like, oh my goodness, can poke an eye out. Just kidding. But anyway, that covers it. Well, that wraps it up for this video on the Phanteks TC14S CPU cooler. I'm Joanne, and if you like what you saw and you want to see more like it, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as follow me on social media. Joanne Tech Lover Facebook fan page, Joanne Tech Lover again on Twitter, and Joanne Tech Lover once more on Instagram. Also, please don't forget to hit the donate button so I can help expand this channel and feed this techie. And I started up a new channel called JTL Lifestyle, where I talk about everyday random gadgets, so go ahead and check that out, and don't forget to subscribe. And also JTL Cuteness Overload, where you get an injection of cuteness into your everyday lives, and it's just so awesome that way. Alright, one last thing is storeenvy.com, where you can go ahead and check out my 8.5 by 11 inch autographed prints that you can buy. I guess all that's left to say is bye bye!